In his book, The Honest Truth About Dishonesty, Dan Ariely, professor of psychology and behavioral economics at Duke University, scientifically tested in great detail how and why humans lie and what makes it easier or harder for them to keep to the truth. His research was done on college students. The students were offered to step into a classroom where they were handed a paper of 10 math exercises. They were given 10 minutes, and for each one of the questions they got right, they were to receive $1. After they finished the test paper, though, they were given an answer sheet and told to mark their own papers, and then put their papers through the shutter machine in the back wall of the classroom. They would then inform the tester what their mark was, and they would be rewarded $1 for each question answered correctly. How did Dan learn whether or not they lied? The shredder was not a shredder. On the other side of the wall, all the papers went into a basket so that Dan could see exactly how many students were dishonest and exactly by how much. They were led to think that they were in an honor system, that no one would ever know if they lied or not. And it is interesting to note that many of them lied, but not by a lot. The most common was the small lie, falsifying the results by reporting 2 questions more than the real score. If they got 4 right, they wrote 6. From this, Ariely disproves the belief of Smork, simple model of rational crime. Smork is the belief that dishonesty is generally rational and the results of a balance between 3 factors. A, the benefit of the dishonesty, versus B, the likelihood of getting caught, and C, the severity of punishment. Here, the people that were tested thought they could have lied and not gotten caught. No B or C factor. And they could have reported 10 and gotten $10. A high A factor. Ariely played around with these factors by giving more or less money for each question. He played with the B or C factors, but the factors of Smork did not bring about more or less dishonesty. Rather, Ariely found that even people who are, on the whole, honest lie just a little bit, no matter which factors are involved. Small lies account for the major part of the sum total of all dishonesty in the world. Small theft accounts for most cases of stealing. The majority of stealing is from people who do not steal big. Locksmiths will tell you that your lock is not there to protect you from the professional thief. A professional thief can break any lock. The lock is there to protect you from the people who are, on the whole, honest, but who might be tempted to try your door if it has no lock. Ariely concluded that when people lie or cheat, it is a compromise. Every person has in him a drive for pleasure. In great contrast, every person has a sense of morality. In Judaism, this may be referred to as the conflict between neshama and nefesh. When a person is being tested for honesty, he finds himself in a dilemma. Which voice should he listen to? Which voice should he obey? His morality or his materialistic drive? The reason why people lie and cheat, and mostly in small proportions or in small sums, is because that it is something that one's sense of ethics will find it easy to ignore or excuse. It's easier to compromise one's ethical values when there's just a small matter involved. The bigger the gamble, the harder it gets to compromise. Then, I really did something that made me fall off my chair when I read it. He made students recall the 10 Commandments before taking the test. Then, there was no cheating whatsoever, despite the fact that no one was able to recall all 10. Even atheists who swore on a Bible lied less on their tests. I really realized that the way to keep people from lying is by reminding them of moral behavior, by recalling God and His Word, and by being reminded of God's Word on a daily basis. Ariely himself is not religious. It seems that we compromise less on our morality when we are reminded of God. Our morality is not a rational cost-benefit analysis like the claim of Smork. It is dependent on how much we remind ourselves of God in our lives, and on how much we connect to the Torah. One of the reasons to be religious, to be a Torah observant Jew, is exactly this. If you are not Torah observant and your child asks you why he or she should be honest and moral, you can't tell him because that is the right thing to do, or that is the way he will be more successful in life. Because he will tell you that even the presidents and government officials lie. Most liars and cheats don't get caught. Who decides what is considered moral? And what if we catch those people themselves being immoral? The only answer we have as parents to our children is that God decided what is moral in His Torah. And only if we live with Torah in our lives can we explain to our children that Torah is our moral code, and that we obey the Torah because God is real and God is everything. And the only thing that will bring morality into our lives is Torah, not self-help books, not books on etiquette, and not stories of the honesty of George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. I have a friend who can't get over an incident that happened in his yeshiva many years ago. It was a dormitory yeshiva, and a wave of robberies was being reported. My friend, together with another dorm member who was robbed of $300, decided to put an end to it. They set up a trap in the dorm. They left a wallet with $20 on the desk, and they took turns of endless hours, a sum total of 3 days to be precise, standing in the closet, peeping through a tiny hole to see which student was the thief. It felt like endless hours, and then they caught him. They reported him to the Rosh Hashiva, and the rabbi had certain proof that this boy was the thief because of the ink powder that was put on the $20 bill. After seeking the counsel of a gadol, the Rosh Hashiva decided not to expel the boy. Nobody is learning from this boy to be a thief. A yeshiva is a rehabilitation center because Torah cures people and gives them morality. Everyone just needs to be more careful to safeguard their money. All the 10 commandments were given with a godly fire, thunder and lightning. Even the commandments, lo tirtzach, lo tinaf, lo tignov, lo ta'aneh b're'acha et shaker, do not kill, do not have improper relations, do not steal, do not lie as a witness, which are all mitzvot that are dictated by common sense, needed all the pizzazz of Har Sinai. Why? Doesn't the Talmud teach us, Amar Rabbi Yohanan, אלמלא לא ניתנה התורה, היינו למדים צניעות מהחתול, וגזל מנמלה, ואריות מעינה. Said Rabbi Yochanan, if not for the Torah, we will learn the way of modest conduct from the cat, not to steal from the ant, and not to be in an appropriate relationship from the dove. That's a Gemara in Eruvin, and Daf Kuf, Amud Bet. We can learn from Abe Lincoln not to lie. We can learn from George Washington. Why did we need the great sound and light show at Har Sinai for these 4 commandments? The answer is that in order for us to become really moral, it does not suffice to work on becoming a gentleman. The only way to really become moral is by recharging our godliness through Torah. All the special effects of Har Sinai at the giving of these commandments were aimed at infusing our morals with godliness in these commandments as well. If only we could connect to Torah. If only we would remind ourselves daily of the godliness inside each and every one of us, we would merit to be God's light to the world.